Good morning, everybody. Hey, I'd first like to thank PMA and Unified Title for bringing in a great breakfast. Some people down here south are talking about it was better than Mr. Big's. So thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Appreciate the juice and everything. Good way to start the morning. Thanks, everybody, for being here, or for those of you that are tuning in at home. Our agent count on this little computer in front of us say over 100 have tuned in that we know of anyway. And I know there's at least 20, last count, 25, 30 up at the north office. Way to go, guys. Welcome. And south office, I think, what do we have in there, John? About 30?
Yeah, about 30.
About 30, so we're looking good. This is great. So here we go. Would you all please stand and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, here we go. Welcome, Jennifer Sullivan, to the South Office. Jennifer joins us with some experience, used to work with Masterville Homes, Jim Stiltner, and so forth, and welcome, Jennifer. Okay, here we go. Here's our stats. The showing activity was almost identical to last September. Last September was 2970, and it was 2945 this year, so real close to what was going on last year at this time. Now you're going to see some numbers here that are different. Check this. There's 5,500 listings on the market a year ago, and there's 4,196 this year. So that is huge. That's a big drop from a year ago. Now this is good because we had 672 sales and 603 last year. So sales are up and inventory is down. That's a good sign of a recovery starting to happen here. All right, let's take a look at condos. Way down, 478 this year on the market, last year 845, so 42% decrease in inventory. That's a good sign. Go ahead. So sales 100 versus 93, so 7% or so more sales this year. With the inventory down, sales up in condos as well. Now, if you think about that slide where we said it was the same showing amount as last September, we had the same amount of showings, but we had it on a lot less listings. You follow me? Okay. Here's our stats. Only 151 listings, 32 million. So I would say we need to think about finishing strong and doing some really good listing. You know, putting the home on the market now when the inventory is down is a smart move, especially with the rates, interest rates, as low as they are. We need to get that number up. 151 should be 251 at least. Pendings 277. That's a good month for September. 56 million. Close 261, not too bad, 57 million. Now here's the good news. If you look at the bottom line, we're up over last year by 7 million in volume and 131 sides. So congratulations, we passed last year. That's a good thing. 211 is now ahead of 210. So let's finish strong. Let's acknowledge these folks. The top 3 single associates of the month of September at North, Vicki Westifer, Catherine Tarl, and Bill Kemp. South, Sharon Leroy, Lonnie Dom, and Ernie Downey. Monument, Delane Odell, Kathy Allen, and Russ Gordon. And then downtown, Deb Pharisee, Scott Mullenix, and Donna Smith. 3 top teams, North, Jeff Ryder team, Distinctive Group, Tiffany Locknet, and the Fur team. South, Clement team, Brandon Smith team, and Lisa Regal team in downtown, Of course, it's peakdream.com. So let's take a look at the top 20. There's your top 20, there's your top 5. Now, we're going to show you something different. One of the agents, actually more than one agent requested, why don't we take a look at what it looks like when we combine the teams and the solos and put them all together in a top 20. We might not do this every month, but maybe every other month or so we'll put them together and take a look and see how that falls out. So this is for the month of September only. And there's your top 20 mixed teams and solos. Now, year to date, here's your top 20 teams and solos mixed. So there you go, something a little different. Market share. Well, you know, we've been preaching about finish strong, and just to let you know where we are, we're at 14.8 year to date. That was taken yesterday, and that's up from a year ago. But let's see if we can get that into the 15s or 16s by a strong finish. Remember, there's only 3 holidays. It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's New Year's. It's not 3 months or 2 months or 6 weeks. So competition may think that, but we're not. We're going to rock. Day supply chart is on your disc. Now, here's what's going on with that. Your sales rally disc is going to be in your mailbox by the end of the day? Tomorrow. It'll be in your mailbox tomorrow. It will have all these slides, all this data, and of course it'll have the day supply chart and so forth. So make sure you open it up, and we're going to have a little slide a little later about why you should open it up. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, we have about 11 months left on this J.D. Power and Associates Award. I want you to think about putting it on everything you can, and the reason is, come next August, if we don't win it again, you can't use it. We can still have the posters hanging in the foyer, but we can't put it on our ads, we can't put it in the newspaper or on our websites after next August unless we win it again. So it's a window of opportunity to use the picture of those 2 trophies of the J.D. Power and Associates Award. And let's go to the next one, and we've got some information here for you on this. So check this out. RE/MAX is the most recognized brand, top of mind for national real estate in the market. So the blue, or the red rather, says total brand awareness, and then the grayish light blue is top of mind. So you can see there where 95% and then 34% top of mind is RE/MAX. Okay, go to the next one. There's a bunch of these that are available for you to use in your marketing, and they're on Main Street, and you can find them under Marketing tab, and then you can go down to the J.D. Powers or Top of Mind or whatever it says, and click on and grab all these. This is just a couple samples of what you can do if you happen to be in a listing contest with a Keller Williams situation. You might want to show that. Consumers recall advertising more than any other brand. It's us. There's only a few more of these. Okay, among those intending to buy, RE/MAX is the most considered brand. So 28% of the people, when they're thinking about buying, they think of us. Among those intending to buy, it is the most considered brand. There's just an example of one of the slides with Prudential, ERA, so forth. And of course, this is nationwide. And then those intending to sell, we're by far out in front on that too. RE/MAX is the national brand consumers more likely to recommend This is a real good one right here, 41%, with 25% being top of mind. Like that. Ooh, there's another good one. Across the country, agents are extremely proud to be associated with RE/MAX. Total is 96. 78% strongly agree, and then 18% somewhat agree. Obviously, these were surveys that were done. Overwhelmingly, agents feel that RE/MAX brand is important in terms of their ability to sell real estate, 82%. This one's a good one. Talks about the reasons they consider us. Go ahead. So I guess the bottom line is we get these things provided to us by RE/MAX International, and you need to start going into Main Street. If you don't know your passcode, let us know. We'll get you your passcode so you can get in there. Look at this one. Web traffic. Holy cow. That's almost double of our closest competitor on web traffic. And I always, in a listing presentation, mention to the people that we still spend over $30 million a year on TV advertising. And people can come into your home, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and tell you they have the greatest website. What they don't have is $30 million plus every year with every TV commercial driving traffic to RE/MAX.com. They don't have that. And this slide would, of course, prove that. Look at the page views. When they get there, they stay. So that's huge, with Coldwell Banker being second at less than half. And then Facebook, we're all over that. And it's looking good there too. So here we go. If you go to Main Street, the marketing tab looks like that, and then down there at the bottom where Brooke has circled that, that's where you go find this stuff. The J.D. Powers Resource Center and the #1 Advantage. Okay? All right. Yesterday, Tony and I were at a broker owner meeting, and the Denver offices have come together with a new plan, and they're going to be doing every other Sunday a collections ad, and on the off Sunday just an ad for any price range. So the collections ad, you can do a really nice looking, and Tony, I hope you have those up there to show. Amy's going to take these out and show the people here, but they're a nice size ad, $250. On the every other Sunday, it's $59, not $50. But here's the deal. It's a million circulation. A million circulation. So I don't know. It may not be for every house, every listing we have, but it may be for some high-end stuff, especially at the north end of the county. Lon Rod just sold that one in Cathedral Pines. Both sides. Fabulous job, Lon. 1.5, and the buyer came from Denver, and he saw it on MetroList, on the consumer site of MetroList, because Lon put it in MetroList. I mean, you never know, but I don't know what the circulation currently is of the Gazette. I know it's going down. It's probably around 100,000 or so, maybe 120. And you look at this reach that the Denver Post has, it's fantastic. It's over 1 million. So not for everybody, but I want you to know about it. Here's how we're going to do this. Those of you that are interested, email Rebecca. I've got the packet here. I'm going to give it to her. She'll scan copies and email you copies. You will sign up with the Gazette directly. It's not a company deal. And you'll have to have a credit card and so forth. And then there's a format that you fill out and so forth to each ad. So you'll be doing this on your own with the Denver offices, but I think some of you may need to look at this and really consider it. Okay, keep rolling. All right, hang on to your hats. There's a few new things that you need to know. Here's Linda Ritchie.
Thanks, Joe. Good morning, everybody. First issue is a listing contract issue that was brought up at corporate leadership last week. And that is that agents are submitting amendments after a listing contract has expired. The point is, once your listing contract has expired, it's dead and you cannot extend it. Another issue that we're seeing too are bedrooms, basement bedrooms, and that is that if there's no egress from that basement room, don't list it in the MLS as a bedroom. It's got to have egress. If the windows are too small for egress, or if there are bars on the windows, then don't list it as a bedroom.
Just get it close to your mouth.
Now, this one is from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, Lori Janik, the NAR General Counsel. At the state convention for 2 days, I attended 10 hours of classes to bring this information back. And Lori Janik said that one of the big things that's out there today, one of the big issues is this brokerage admin fee. And her words were that if you plan to charge the flat rate additional commission, you must have included it in your listing contract, whether it's for buyers or for sellers. It's got to be in the contract. And then make sure that you do not call it a brokerage admin fee. RE/MAX Properties, along with any other brokerage out there, could be sued for 1 year after the last use of brokerage admin fee. There's a statute of limitations that goes for a year, and there have been some large class action lawsuits over that brokerage admin fee. So please be sure you call it additional commission. Lori went on to talk about home warranties, and HUD says that brokers may not be paid for selling home warranties unless, and you won't believe all the conditions, and I'm sure Joe would flip his lid if he thought anybody was doing this. 1, you'd have to inspect the components to be covered. 2, you'd have to record all the serial numbers of the appliances or components. 3, you'd have to take photos of covered components. And 4, you'd have to report to the home warranty company. So just don't even think you're going to get paid for selling a home warranty. There is a nationwide lawsuit, another class action lawsuit that American Home Shield is trying to settle that would include all brokers in that settlement, meaning that nobody could be sued for these American Home Shield warranties. And what American Home Shield is trying to do, as proposed, is to pay 2/3 of the amount that a broker received to buyers or sellers in the lawsuit. So if you typically would have received $60, they're going to pay $40 to these buyers and sellers to settle this lawsuit. Next one is plagiarism in the websites. If you are going to use NAR information or information from other websites, please be sure you give that credit. Cite where you got it. Give credit where credit is due. And Lori, the General Counsel, again for NAR, went on to say that you would be subject to discipline under the NAR Code of Ethics for plagiarism in your websites. So you could be disciplined through PPAR ethics or through CAR ethics, depending on who brought the issue. Another class I attended was E&O issues, and Steve Morgan, the attorney for CAR, Colorado Association of Realtors, Damian Cox, a well-known real estate attorney, and Richard Williams of Williams Underwriting Group, where we get our E&O coverage, said that there's no coverage if you are the builder/developer or you're married to the builder/developer and you list and sell the property. So if we've got anybody in our company in that situation, you need to talk to Joe right away. Fix and flips. You have to hold the property for at least 180 days in order to have errors and omissions insurance. So there's no coverage if you fix and flip that property within 180 days. And then the other item they had, and they had this on their slide up front, never boast that you are a real estate investment expert. Evidently there were some lawsuits over investments that didn't do well because somebody boasted that he or she was a real estate investment expert. It turned into a lawsuit. So be careful about what you say. More errors and omissions insurance from these same guys, Richard Williams specifically. He's talked about your errors and insurance omissions payment due by the middle of December so that you have continuous coverage. If you wait till January when you can still pay and not be in trouble with the real estate commission, if there's an issue in January where you get sued, you don't have coverage because your coverage ended December 31st. And if you lose your prior act's coverage because of a lapse, then you lose coverage for anything you did in prior years, which obviously none of us want to do because that's what you're going to get sued for. He also talked about tail coverage. When you leave the business, be sure you get tail coverage. And you might want to talk to somebody at Williams Underwriting Group so that you can get not only tail coverage, but you can have coverage while you're not working in the business and then switch to tail coverage a couple of years later. The other issue was property management of your own property is not covered. Now, we've addressed this in our policy manual that you have to have a statement saying that this property management that you're doing on your own property is not part of RE/MAX properties, and you need to be sure you've got that in your leases. So know that you are not covered with errors and omissions on your own properties for property management. And if you sell your primary residence, you're covered as long as you've owned it for at least 180 days, you have a home inspection, and you provide a home warranty, and you must use the state forms, and then you have to list it, of course, with RE/MAX properties. You cannot do a FSBO if you expect to get errors and omissions insurance coverage. So these items 2, 3, and 4 are in our policy manual, so make sure that you are doing that. If you're listing your own property, you have to have Joe or Tony or Ken sign off on that on all your paperwork.
Yeah, we had that for years, and now it's...
We have had that for years. More on errors and omissions insurance, and Richard Williams of Williams Underwriting Group says that if the claimant agrees to settle, but you refuse to settle, you say, I didn't do anything wrong, I'm not going to settle, this is crazy, then before Williams will agree to continue with this, you have to agree to split all future expenses and losses with the Williams Underwriting Group. So they'll go forward with you, but you're going to pay half the legal fees, and if you lose, you're going to pay half the settlement. Could get ugly.
Not good.
Then we had Marcia Waters, who is the director of the Division of Real Estate, give us a CREC update. And Marcia said that education audits are in progress. They've already sent 125 notices. You may have gotten some of those or one of those. And then another 125 notices were going to be sent in October. So make sure that you are up to date on your CE. Don't think that you can renew your license without your 24 hours of continuing ed. And of those 24 hours, you have to have 12 hours of the 4-hour update class that, by the way, we happen to offer here at the office for you. Problem areas that the Real Estate Commission is looking for are broker supervision, making sure that you are properly supervised by your employing broker, Joe. So make sure you're attending sales rallies and paying attention. Property management is another big area they're really looking at. So we've got property managers. No one in our company besides our sanctioned property managers should be doing property management other than on their own property, for which, of course, there's no E&O insurance. The fees change every November 15th, so if your license needs to be renewed, I'd suggest, frankly, you do it now. I think renewal fees are about $60 for 3 years. So know that on November 15th, they should go up or down. And they also went on to tell us that the newsletters will be published quarterly, so be looking for those. They're great information from the Real Estate Commission. When the Real Estate Commission comes to audit the brokerage files, and they're not going to audit your files, they're going to audit Joe's files. So anything that's been turned in is what has to be audited by the Real Estate Commission. They are looking for signed documents, and not only signed documents, but the correct documents. For instance, make sure you use a counter proposal if your contract says see counter, amend extends do not work for counter offers. Brokerage disclosure to buyers, they are specifically looking for those. Copies of earnest money checks and receipts for earnest money checks when they're turned over to a title company. They're also looking for anything out of the ordinary. For example, payments to third parties, large payments, maybe a $100,000 marketing fee, something like that. There was really a kickback to a buyer or seller or something. Complete files are required. Knowing that the Real Estate Commission is going to really be looking at the files and looking for all those documents, then this one's from Joe after hearing all of this. Files must be complete before commission checks will be issued. It's been our policy forever. However, sometimes we're too nice, and our office managers agree to pay you with the agreement that you will bring in your documents as soon as possible. Well, that can't happen anymore. It will not happen anymore. And anybody who's got documents missing from a previous file needs to get those documents in. We've been kicking around the idea of not paying any more commissions to those agents who have incomplete files sitting on the filing cabinets in any of the offices waiting for those documents. So you need to get those documents in. Next one is a new rule, E47, that is coming this year from the Real Estate Commission. And Marcia Waters says this deals with competency. Whether you're selling outside of your local area or you're selling residential or commercial property when you've only sold residential, whatever, if you're outside your competency area and you get hauled up before the Real Estate Commission, you would have to prove competency in a Real Estate Commission disciplinary hearing. So how can you prove competency? You'd have to show that you took some classes, that you learned the area, whatever it is, but you're going to have to prove your competency. It's kind of like being considered guilty instead of considered innocent. Before proving guilty, you're going to be considered guilty unless you can prove your competency. Short sales, there was a big issue about a short sale where the seller owed, of course, much more than the property's worth, and the buyer wasn't told that it was a short sale. The buyer sold his house thinking that he was actually going to close on this property. It didn't close, and so the short sale issue is a material fact, and that material facts have to be disclosed. So make sure you're disclosing that. Make sure buyers who are getting into a short sale situation know it's a short sale. Now, part of this update, there was another legal panel, and Damian Cox, the real estate attorney, made a point about the due diligence documents. And his question to the group was, if a buyer asks for documents, remember that due diligence paragraph, what are you going to put? So if the buyer asks for documents the seller doesn't have, you should write a counteroffer removing those documents. His question was, could a buyer terminate the contract if he listed documents in that due diligence paragraph that the seller didn't have, and therefore the seller didn't provide them? And a resounding no came from the audience, and Damien said, wrong. It's yes. If he asks for documents and you don't give them to him, then the buyer can terminate. So if they ask for old inspections, they ask for copies of any leases, old surveys, and the seller has none of those, blueprints, whatever it is, you need to write a counteroffer to that contract. So be very careful with that. We do not want buyers having any more loopholes and free walks out the door than they already have. The next one we have is broker safety issues. Andrew Wooten, who is a certified crime prevention specialist for the National Association of Realtors, called us trunk slammers. Now, trunk slammers, he said, that's all of us. We're at home on a Sunday afternoon. We're having a barbecue in the backyard, and we get a call from a buyer who says, hey, I'm at your listing, and this, of course, is one of your lifetime listings you've had for a couple of years, and no showings, and the buyer says, I'd like to probably write an offer on this place. I'm in from California. I've got cash. Need to buy something right away. And you slam your trunk and you're on the way. Well, he says, don't do that. Agree that you will meet them at a coffee shop or Burger King or whatever it is. Tell them I'll meet you there in 20 minutes at the Starbucks, and then you go to the house You go to the house, you check the house, check the lockbox, make sure there aren't broken windows, make sure the door hasn't been kicked in, and then go meet them at the coffee shop and take them over to the house. Don't meet people you don't know at vacant listings. And when you do walk into a vacant listing, you should be yelling out, "Realtor, you have 5 minutes to get out." And then wait in your car for those squatters or bums or druggies or whoever they are to exit. And
This on a HUD listing.
HUD listings, vacant listings, anything. So be very careful. You know, we've had some incidents in the past, and we'd hate to have a repeat of any of those. And people who might not want to hurt you at all, they're just looking for a warm place to stay, could be in there and would happily leave before you come in. But if you surprise somebody, you could get hurt. And then now our Code of Ethics, the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics class, you have to complete by the end of 2012. You've got lots of time to do that. Just want to keep reminding you so you don't forget. And as you know, the Real Estate Commission has changed about, I think it's 18 different forms, either new or revised. And we have put the new 2012 sales contract for residential on your sales rally disc today. You may not use it until January 1st, but this will give you an opportunity to review it and see what some of the changes are and ask questions before January 1st if you need to. We're having the Real Estate Commission 4-hour update classes, you know, the mandatory class, offered by Kaplan at RE/MAX Properties, Monday, October 24th, from 9 to 1 at $35 at the North Office. We'll have it again on Friday, December 9th, same time, same price at the South Office. This class is required annually, and you'll have to sign up through Kaplan. There's a local number for you to call, but please, if you plan to take this on October 24th, sign up right away so they don't cancel our class. Any questions? I don't see any hands, so please let us know. Thanks. Here's Joe.
Way to go, Linda. Give her a big hand, everybody. Yeah. Holy cow. Thanks for going to the car convention, getting all that new great information. I love Rule E47. It's something I've been preaching for years. Competency out of the area. We don't know anything in Canyon City. We don't know anything in Pueblo. We don't know anything in Aurora. We cannot go there and try to act like we are competent. We are not competent. Can you go there and do a buyer, co-list something? Sure you can. Get somebody to help you is the way to do it, or just refer it. Okay, the new under contract check sheet. It's great. Thanks, Gabby. Thanks, Jody. It's got in there a place for commissions and then flat rate commission, which is the old broker fee. And somebody said yesterday, well, how do I explain it to a seller? You explain it to a seller this way. It's a company charge. It goes for many things, including storage of documents, including all kinds of things that we have to do as a company. It has nothing to do with you as an individual agent, and just roll that stuff off your tongue as you are explaining things, and just be careful that you don't say it's specifically for doc storage. It's not. It's for many, many, many things, including doc storage. Okay, here we go. We just have a few more slides, guys. Hang with us. You know, a lot of you are not filling in on the listing magic piece, headline 1 and headline 2. If those come in blank and you just don't have time to put in something special about that property, we are going to plug in something like, maybe not this on every one, but something like another beautiful property brought to you by RE/MAX Properties, Inc. So don't be surprised if you see something strange when you look at your listing magic stuff. It's only there because you forgot or did not put headline 1 and headline 2 remarks. Okay? So here's the quick overview of the classes. Now I want you to know this. Kevin is coming up with some phenomenal classes. There's going to be a bunch coming in November and December. We're going to finish strong with education. You do have another Google class coming up, Own America Focus Group. We do have birthday lunch next Wednesday. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here, okay? And there's an LHP tour next Thursday, a week from today. The convention half-price deal is basically for the month of November. It starts November 1st and flows through December 2nd. Those of you that are thinking about convention, this would be the time after November 1st to sign up and get registered by December 2nd. You get it half price because I went to the Broker Owner Conference. This is cool. We've got a new thing happening November 9th. It's a Wednesday. Day after sales rally next month, we're going to Denver, Inverness, Inverness is on the very south in the tech center area. So it's a good location for us. It's $10 per person. You get Dave Liniger for the first hour, giving you an update on the big picture, and then Tom Ferry for 2 hours. $10? Are you kidding me? That is so cheap. So let's get a flock of us to go up there to that. I'm planning to attend. Let's see if we can get a whole bunch of people to go. Okay? Put it in your calendars. Tom Ferry and Dave, November 9th. And once again, backed by popular demand, the Halloween potluck at the North Office, 11:30 on the 31st. That's a Monday. Costume contest, good food, prizes, and so forth. Okay. Now, here's something we figured out last month. Lots of people got that disc and they didn't know what it was. That's your packet. We're saving cutting down trees. It is your packet. Okay? So one disc has a hidden prize, $100 off your bill, but you have to open it, and then you have to contact me and tell me what that code is that's on your it's just one disc out of 200 plus discs. One disc has the $100 off your bill. So you can't win if you don't play. Open your disc and look and see what's in there, okay? And then thanks for joining today. We're going to put everybody's name in a hat. We've got your name by either you registering by signing into your computer or by being in this South Office conference or community room or North or Monument. So we'll know who watched, and then we'll pull that out and shoot out an email announcing the winner for the Office Depot gift certificate for $50. The sales rally in November is back to Mr. Big's live 8:30 breakfast, 9 o'clock meeting. And we want to remind you that we are going to finish strong, and that means we're going to work hard between now and the end of the year and try to get some stuff in our pipeline for 2012. Finish strong with some strong personal statistics, which end up being strong company statistics. Another big thanks to Brooke for putting this together, John Sherwood, Rebecca, Amy, and all the cast of thousands that helped pull this off today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Have a great week. Let's finish strong.